Good morning. In this video we're going to look at how to find the circumference of circles and the perimeter of shapes that use parts of a circle. So the first step we do when we're finding the circumference of a circle, we need to write out the formula that we are going to use. In this case we're going to use the formula for the circumference is equal to the diameter multiplied by pi. And for every question that we do, we're going to have pi equal to 3.14. So then the circumference is equal to the diameter, which is 2.5, times pi, which is 3.14. And when we figure that out, we get the circumference of this circle being 7.85, and our measurement unit is centimeters. Here we have a shape that includes only part of a circle, this back end here. If we want to find the perimeter, we need to start with finding out the length of this back piece. We can use the formula for a circle, which is the circumference equal to diameter times pi. The thing to note though is that the 13.35 does not go all the way across the circle, because if the circle were drawn in here, you'd have another quarter circle before you get to the other side. So the 13.35 is just a radius, and a radius is equal to half of a diameter. So we're going to take the 13.35 multiplied by 2 to find the diameter. And when we do the multiplication, 13.35 times 2, we get a diameter of 26.7 centimeters. Now using this diameter of 26.7 multiplied by pi, we get a circumference of 83.838. Since we're only looking for 1/4 of the circumference, because this back end, as I mentioned earlier, is only 1/4 of a circle, we're going to take the circumference, 83.838, and divide it by 4. And we get the quarter circle in the back, this back edge here, equal to 20.9595, or when we round it off we can simply say that it is close to 21. And this 21 we are going to add to 13.35 and 13.35 to get the full perimeter of the shape. So when we add up those three, we get a total perimeter of 47.6595, and when we round it off so that we have 2 decimal places like our original measurement had up here, we're going to have that the perimeter of the shape is equal to 47.66 centimeters. This time the shape is a little more difficult because we have 3/4 of a circle. So this outer edge is 3/4 of a full circle. So one way of doing this would be to multiply our circumference that we find by 3/4. I'm going to show you a different method that doesn't involve having to convert decimals into fractions or fractions into decimals. Instead, I'm going to find half of a circle and then 1/4 of a circle and add them together. So again, to solve this, I'm going to need the circumference, which is equal to diameter multiplied by pi. And because the measurement that we're given here only goes into the center, I'm going to have to multiply it by 2 over here to get the diameter of 13 centimeters. Take the diameter of 13 centimeters, multiply it by 3.14, we get a circumference of 40.82. So here I can take the 40.82 and divide it into 2 to get the semicircle. And for the semicircle we get a measurement of 20.41 centimeters. And then when we take the circumference divided by 4 to get the quarter circle down here, we get a measurement of 10.205 centimeters. To figure out the perimeter, if I start over here, I'm going to take the 20.41, add it to the 10.205, and then add 6.5 meters twice, once going up and then once coming back, to find the total perimeter. And then we have the total perimeter of 43.615 meters, or when we round it off to 1 decimal place, which is what we started with, we had one number after the decimal, then we get 43.6 meters. So I'm hoping that with this tutorial you can solve the problems involving shapes that have parts of a circle. Just remember, when you're starting or working with any problem with a circle, you're always going to have to find the full circumference and then divide by what part of the circle you've got, and then solve for the straight lines or any other shapes that are involved.